Hi everyone, so this particular wonder today is going to be based on a sermon which I heard by Pastor Myron Edmonds. It was a series called Bondages and Breakthroughs and the title of the sermon was Breaking and Entering. And as usual, I will try to find the video back and link it in the description box below so that you can have a look at it for yourself, because I'm going to be pulling out probably a fairly small portion of what the entire message was about. And so the particular message today is actually going to be quite short, but the summary of it is that a roadblock is evidence of an imminent blessing. So in our lives, roadblocks are evidence of imminent blessings. And the text that I'm going to read for you is going to be Luke chapter 5 verses 17 to 26, and I'm going to let them scroll up next to me or above my face so that you can follow along. Luke chapter 5 verses 17 to 26, and then we're going to make I'm going to give you a couple of the points that he made. And it says, "And it came to pass on a certain day, as he was teaching, that there were Pharisees and doctors of the law sitting by, which were come out of every town of Galilee and Judea and Jerusalem. And the power of the Lord was present to heal them. And behold, men brought in a bed a man which was taken with a palsy, and they sought means to bring him in, and to lay him before him. And when they could not find by what way they might bring him in because of the multitude, they went upon the housetop and let him down through the tiling. Forgive me, it had a double L, but anyway. Verse 19. "And when they could not find by what way they might bring him in because of the multitude, they went upon the housetop and let him down through the tiling with his couch into the midst before Jesus. And when he saw their faith, he said unto him, Man, thy sins are forgiven thee. And the scribes and the Pharisees began to reason, saying, Who is this which speaketh blasphemies? Who can forgive sins but God alone? But when Jesus perceived their thoughts, he answering said unto them, What reason ye in your hearts? Whether is easier to say, Thy sins be forgiven thee, or to say, Rise up and walk? But that ye may know that the Son of Man hath power upon earth to forgive sins. He said unto the sick of the palsy, I say unto thee, Arise and take up thy couch and go into thine house. And immediately he rose up before them and took up that whereon he lay, and departed to his own house, glorifying God. And they were all amazed, and they glorified God and were filled with fear, saying, We have seen strange things today." And so that is our text for this particular wonder. And as I mentioned before, we're talking about roadblocks and how roadblocks are evidence of imminent blessing. Now, as we read the story, I'm pretty sure you would have seen plenty of roadblocks to the gentleman who was healed that day. As they were coming to the place where Jesus was, there was a great multitude. Many Pharisees were present, many persons were present, and it was quite difficult to even get to where Jesus was. They could have turned back. I don't know what I would have done, but I probably would have seen all the people and been like, okay, today was not the day, it was not meant to be. Let me go back home. But they came, they were looking for a blessing. They had faith that Jesus could provide that blessing and that healing. And so, despite what seemed like such a great roadblock, they still pressed forward to try to reach to Jesus. So the multitude was there, they didn't know how to get in. They decided to go up top the roof. They had to take out some piece of the roof in order to get him inside, but they were determined. And so his point was that whenever we have roadblocks in our lives, because there's other biblical examples, for example, the woman with the issue of blood, the press around her was so thick, the crowd was so great, But she still made her way to Jesus and said to herself, if I could but just touch the hem. But she had to press through the crowd in order to do that. So the point he was trying to make is that when we have serious roadblocks in our lives, whether they're serious or not, when we have roadblocks in our lives, it usually indicates an imminent blessing. The man that was palsied could have told his friends, you know what, this is too much stress, I don't want to trouble you all no more, let me just go on home because they got too much people out here. But no, there was a blessing beyond that roadblock. And we in our Christian walk need to push past roadblocks. We need to get through those rough times, those rough and tumble times that seek to take us all the way out. We need to understand that that particular roadblock, what Pastor Edmonds was saying, that the roadblock is a test of our faith. Not every single blessing God is going to give us is going to come by easy. Not every single one is going to be you pray and it immediately comes. Sometimes you're going to pray and you're going to have such troubles that face you that you think, did God not even hear my prayer? Because this is like, he ain't hear it, because this is like the total opposite of what I prayed. But it's in those circumstances that you have to keep pressing forward, because the roadblock is a test of faith. And once you prove that you are faithful, God is going to be faithful in return, and he is going to bless you. And so he was encouraging us that despite our roadblocks in life, that we need to praise God in advance. We need to lift him up, even if we're in a time of hardship as opposed to a time of ease, because those hardships, first of all, build our faith if we stick with it. And that beyond that hardship, just beyond, they say every cloud has a silver lining. I don't know if that's what they actually say. But you know what I mean. There's always a silver lining. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel. And so your roadblock, whatever you may be facing now, today, there may be some of us who have roadblocks in our lives, but that is just a test of your faith. And if you hold on, there's going to be a blessing that you cannot even imagine waiting on the other side.